Jimmy Buckets was definitely getting buckets, brother. I'm sorry. Big 5'6". I'm sorry. Being from Houston, I gotta shout that out. I gotta highlight that, especially on the platform that I have. And that's just how it go for me. And on a halfway Giannis. You know what I'm saying? And to just be like, this is my city. I gotta respect that. And that's just as soon as I saw it, as soon as I watched the game through and through, I was like, yeah, nah, I can't wait because this is what I respect. No questions, right? All right, we can move on, right? Because Jimmy Buckets getting buckets, this is how it go. I'm kind of feeling like Miami is Giannis's kryptonite in a sense. Not so much so, but in a sense. But you know what I'm saying? They they the one team in the East that's not scared of no Giannis and none of that. So we're gonna see. And I know I call the Bucks taking it. I called the Bucks taking it, but I didn't expect this Giannis stuff. So I'm sure we ain't worry about that, right?
This isn't like personally my disrespect,
Be
but
careful because you got the Miami Heat.
He was about to say that as you wear a Miami Heat hoodie.
right. This isn't. No, it actually has nothing to do with the Miami. I mean, it's about the series, but um, it wasn't my initial like disrespect or respect. Um, it's just something that I personally feel to be true. So the Milwaukee Bucks now found themselves in a situation where they're down 3-1. I am of the belief that if this were the finals, conference finals, Giannis would have played in games 2 and 3. I am of the belief that the Milwaukee Bucks didn't respect the Heat and or Jimmy Butler enough to be like, no, Giannis, we need to make sure you play so we can be as equal and have our superstar up against Jimmy Butler. And so I think what ended up happening is Giannis goes down game 1, and because they're the 1 seed, he had to go through the play-in or the 8th seed. I feel like the discussion was, all right, we got thrown off because we couldn't properly prepare for Giannis being out, so they got game 1, right? Giannis, you sit out because we should be able to beat them without you for game 2, right? And what happens? It ends up being a blowout. So now you're tied 1-1. That tie in that series 1-1 in game 2, to a degree, gives you fool's gold going into game 3, right? Because you think, oh, we beat them game 2, so we know we can beat y'all without Giannis because we just did it. And I feel like winning game 2 without Giannis prompted the Bucks organization to be like, don't rush back, Giannis. Take your break. We'll milk this and let you get your rest because we know we're gonna need you long term in the playoffs. So don't forget about it. Like, just sit out game 3 as well. What happens? You're on the road. The Heat do what the Heat do at home, right? So now the Bucks are in a situation where they're down 2-1. It's just like, why can we not beat them consistently without Giannis when we clearly have a far superior team? But where the balance scale gets tilted is because they have their superstar, they have their go-to guy playing at Jimmy Butler versus the Milwaukee Bucks, where if we don't have Giannis in terms of like who's going to take the shots, so on and so forth, we're in disarray. And like, who's going to lead us to the promised land, considering your boy Dacius Middleton, he hasn't got a full healthy year under his belt. Yes, Drew could try to carry the toll. However, he has to still facilitate and do other things and play defense and so on and so forth, right? And so then you lose game 3. Now you down 2-1. And it's like, all right, Giannis, immediately come now. And it's a little too little, too late. Not just I don't say that in the sense that the series is over, but now you're asking Giannis to come back for game 4 when he's rusty to a degree. Like he's rusty in terms of like playoff basketball, that atmosphere, that energy. You're on the road, you just hurt yourself. So you may be trying to like get your rhythm back. Cause like Giannis only had like 26 some points last night. Me personally, I feel like if he was gonna play, he wasn't gonna be limited and his minutes wasn't limited. But like you put yourself now in a position to where it's like you try to test the waters a little bit too much. You got a little bit too overconfident and not using Giannis. When, like I say, if this is a conference finals or a finals, I believe Giannis wasn't going to take game 2 and 3 off. And now you find yourself, just being a little bit too overconfident. And granted, all this could be like irrelevant and thrown out the window if like Giannis truly indeed was dealing with like a nagging injury. But considering how the brute force in which Giannis displays on the court, and like when he had the hyperextended knee a while back, and he came back within like a week's time, and it seemed like he didn't miss a beat. It's just like I feel like you could have played if you truly in your heart of hearts wanted to, Giannis. And not playing him, I feel like games 2 and game 3 has significantly came back to bite the Bucks and put them in a position they didn't foresee themselves in. And we could all agree that the Heat are playing with house money, and you're not. You have to get home court back. Like it's not enough for you to just clearly, obviously, just win and go back home, and now you're down 3-2. Like you have to go back through Miami, and that place, I don't know, bro. And let's look at the X's and O's of it too. Yes, Giannis had a triple double, but the Miami Heat were able to win that game. Granted, yes, with Jimmy Butler's 53, 56 points, but they were also able to win that game from a defensive end and say anybody but you, Giannis, is going to beat us. Yeah, you had your triple double, but you having 26, 10, and 10, we'll live with that versus you having 40, 12, and 8. You know what I'm saying? And so you kind of just seen like the wall being formed when Giannis was trying to get in the paint and break them down. But like you got Caleb Martin and the rest of those guys sitting up there, Jimmy Butler building a wall, Bam Adebayo. And to Giannis's credit, he was diming Brook Lopez up over the top. But I'm pretty sure the Heat were saying, we're going to live with that. We're going to live with him being a facilitator versus coming to take our head off of 45, 50 points. So I don't respect the Bucks organization and like them to my honest belief, them kind of just like not respecting the Heat enough to be like, no, Giannis, if you're healthy, whether you're not, like you need to play. We need you to play. But yeah, sorry for being long-winded on that.
Yeah, it was definitely a gamble. It was definitely a gamble for sure. But look for Giannis to play his heart out these next 1 or 2 games before they get eliminated, possibly. If they get eliminated. Because I thought to myself that there may be someone in the first round to come back from 3-1. It could be possibly somebody to do it. And if this be the series, then I call that too. So look for Giannis to try to be a dog. Try to be something you ain't never seen.
On you, Black Peace, what did you respect or not respect this week, bro?
I guess all eyes are in Miami right now, man. I'm definitely have to say Jimmy. I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna say playoff Jimmy is what I respect. I respect the idea of playoff Jimmy Butler. All for the simple fact of I feel like a lot of people have been trying to criticize different players for how to strategize for the playoffs. Some players do load management. Some players do low averages. Some players, they go ballistic throughout the whole season and, they try to, be intimidating. I like the fact that Jimmy Butler throughout his whole career has not really had outstanding seasons. Rather, he has outstanding postseasons. You know, uh, granted that he doesn't necessarily win the championship or always get to the Eastern Conference championship, but it's always a great performance. Is knowing like how he strategically does it. Like I'm at a point where I feel like he does this on purpose to where like just like you said, the Bucks felt like, oh, they're nothing. Jimmy Butler's been quiet all season. What we got to worry about? You know, even at the beginning of the whole playoffs. Jimmy Butler said, like, playoff Jimmy, what is that? That stuff doesn't exist. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's like he tried to make it to where they didn't even exist because he knows like
So
playoffs
y'all
is
gonna sit
strictly just
Giannis.
game planning. Huh?
So y'all gonna sit Giannis.
Yeah, exactly. You
Okay,
on mute? What you say?
y'all think we soft? Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Y'all want to
And
play
it's one of
with
those
us.
things. And it's one of those things where it's just like he knew that. He knew that. I think the moment he went down, he planned it, and it's like every opportunity he got, that's the more Jimmy Butler showed up. It is just like being strategic. Like you got to do. He knows like Tyler Hero's down. The players that are replacing Tyler Hero aren't as reliable, so he got to take things into his own hands. Especially knowing that he's capable of doing it, he has the energy to do it, and he has the know-how to do it. Because even when he did it, like the way he played, it didn't seem like he was working for so much. It seemed so effortless. It looked so like, bro, Jimmy is out there breathing. He's not working for shots. He's out there just playing his game, you know. And just to be honest, man, like I feel like this puts them in the top 3 of winning in the East, and I had them not even a thought of, to be honest with you. You know, but if he keeps at this level, I don't really see a team stopping him. Because I see Boston being beatable, especially after the Trae Young performance, that they can be beat. I see Philly dealing with playoff Harden and Tobias Harris, you know, struggling with getting them to contribute the way they need to. And I mean, what's the other team in the East? There's one more team in the East. Boston, Philly. Well, yeah, it was Boston and Philly, and I feel like they're number 3 now. Yeah, it was the Bucks, and the Bucks, in my opinion, like their supporting cast should have been able to outplay Jimmy, in my opinion. The supporting cast should have been able to do it, but hey, man, like you know, things change. The playoffs happen. You know, people snap into certain modes, and they have certain performances to where it makes a difference. And I think Nikola Jokic should take a page out of Jimmy Butler's book and understand how impactful it is to have a performance like that for your team. Not just to put up so many numbers just because the opportunities were there, but to take over the game. Because people can go back to this whole Jokic game, putting up 30 plus points. That's cute, but that was just like opportunities. It wasn't him taking over the game and being a dog. But to resort back to Jimmy, because it's all about Jimmy, like that was a hell of a performance. That's what the playoffs are all about, in my opinion. You know, I do like to scold the hero play, but it's a time and place for hero play. And when you do it like Jimmy has been doing it, it's wonderful. I love it. It's great.
Can we also give credit
Keep
to
it up.
Eric for the fact that you lose to this team without Giannis, but then you figure that out and win again, right? It's like it's the chess match of the playoffs that you gotta respect when things like this happen, right?
I disagree, only because it was a Jimmy Butler show. Now, any other games, I would respect that, but like this 50 plus game, I'm not giving a coach votes. I'm not. I can't. I can respect them for keeping them rolling, keeping them saying keep shooting at Jimmy, but I can't quite give it to him as a coach for that performance. Like, I'm sorry, when an individual does it, like take over a game like that, I have to X out the coach. All that I can do is pat him on the back for saying not taking him out and not extinguishing the fire.